Yo, it's Ricky Baldasso here, and I'm excited to be delivering this webinar for the second time. The first time I delivered this webinar, it went for 2 hours, and although people said it was awesome and they got a lot out of it, I wanted to do it again and try and condense it into less than an hour so that if you're strapped for time, you can go through it. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is how I built a $20,000 per month membership site using Facebook ads in a niche 99% of people have never heard of. So I'm going to dive right in. I don't want to waste any of your time. Let's get right into it. So I got two goals for today. My first goal is to prove to you that the only way for you to exponentially grow a sustainable information business is through membership sites. And secondly, the only way to succeed with membership sites is through what I call the MDM method, or in other words, the metric-driven marketer method. So, why listen to me? Well, my name's, in case you don't know anything about me, let me give you a little bit of background about who I am. So my name's Ricky Baldasso. I've run multiple businesses in my life, and now I currently run two businesses. So there's a picture of me in Japan earlier this year where I got to speak in front of 800 people about direct response marketing, which is really cool, in Tokyo. And then on the right there, I've got a little bit about what I'm currently up to. So I own a business called roping.com with a couple of business partners. In case you're not aware, roping is a rodeo sport, kind of like bull riding, and we luckily own roping.com, which we paid a lot of money for, and we have a whole bunch of different coaches that create our content. We have a $20 per month membership site. We have over 1,000 members. Our goal is to get to 10,000 members by the end of next year, and it's currently the #1 membership site in that industry for ropers, and we want to 10x it in the next year. I also run a consulting business called metricdrivenmarketer.com, and I've had clients in over 50 industries. I've done hundreds of consults, and I've also been fortunate enough to speak in cool places like Tokyo and San Diego, and essentially all over the world, which is pretty cool. Because I'm from Australia, getting to go to Tokyo or the US to speak, that's really exciting for me. So that's enough about me, but what I really want you, the #1 reason why you should listen to me is because I'm not going to BS you. I'm not here, I've got roping.com, that's my main business. I do this coaching, consulting stuff for fun, right, to help people out. And I see a lot of BS going on in the marketplace, and I'm just here to set the record straight based on what actually works in a real business that has nothing to do with teaching other people how to make money. Like I said, my main business is roping.com. And, when I look into the future, the businesses I want to run have nothing to do with teaching people how to make money or anything like that. But a lot of the guys that teach this stuff, that's how they make the money. I don't. I make most of my money outside of this, in the roping industry. And even prior to starting roping.com a bit over a year ago, most of the money that I made was selling physical products on eBay and Amazon that had, in all different types of products. So that's, just so you know who you're dealing with in the next, 45 or so minutes, I just want you to know straight up, I ain't going to BS you. So there's 3 things I'm going to cover today. The first thing is 4C membership sites. I'm going to be talking about the secret business model enabling marketers and content creators to make 6 to 7 figures per year in any industry or niche. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is my #1 membership funnel, which is a new, simpler funnel type that gets 2 times to 10 times more members than any other funnel strategy. And as a hint, you don't need a lead magnet, you don't need a tripwire, you don't need a webinar, and you don't need a phone call to make this funnel work. And then the third thing I'm going to be sharing with you is my free funded ad scaling method, which is a revolutionary approach to getting unlimited buyer traffic without ever being out of pocket. And this goes against almost everything the gurus teach. So, secret 1, let's dive in. 4C membership sites, the secret business model enabling marketers and content creators to make 6 to 7 figures per year in any industry or niche. So, what is a 4C membership site? Well, essentially, it's a membership site that has 4 pillars. The first pillar is content, the second pillar is coaching, the third pillar is community, and the fourth pillar is club, or in other words, buyers club. Those are the 4 pillars. If you just have your membership site based on content, you're going to fail. It's like a table needs 4 legs to stand. Like to stand with balance, it needs 4 legs. If it has 3 legs, it can still stand. If it has 1 or 2, it's probably going to fall. That's what's going on here. You need content, you need coaching, you need community, and you need a buyer's club. Okay, that's what makes it more powerful. If there's gonna be one that you don't have, I'd recommend it to the buyer's club. But you definitely need to have coaching, community, and content. So the content's obvious. You have all your pre-recorded videos and whatever content that helps people get a result. Coaching is, having, for example, a Facebook group where people are going to ask questions, and between you and any other experts that work with you, or some of your best students, people can get feedback directly from you and your best students and whatever other experts. That's the coaching thing. And then community is having a Facebook group where your whole community of customers can connect with each other and help each other on their journey. So that's what 4C membership sites are. And just so you kind of know, here's a few examples of 4C membership sites that are proving that this is the model of the future that helps you build a sustainable business. And if you ever want to sell your business, it's also a business model that allows you to do that and get a massive multiple on your annual profit, unlike pretty much any other business model other than maybe something like software. So here's a business, Revolution Golf. This is a 8-figure business. They recently got acquired by the Golf Channel, and they're essentially doing what we're talking about here. They have a membership site. It's $97 a year or $20 a month, and it's got a whole bunch of content. They have a community that you're a part of when you join. You also can submit, videos of your golf swing, for example, and get feedback. And they also have a buyers club that you get access to. So that's one example there, Revolution Golf. Also, you may have heard of Digital Marketer. They run the largest digital marketing conference each year in San Diego. And they have a membership site, $37.80 per month, I believe. And they have, over 10,000 people in that. So you can do the math. That's a lot of money. We're talking like 300, 400,000 or more per month coming in every single month. They also, the owners behind Digital Marketer, also own this company called Family Protection Association, which is essentially those 4 pillars for people that are into survival and preparedness. Then here's another example, the National Gun Owners Association. Same thing. This one's mainly revolved around the Buyers Club, but I do believe that they have those other 3 pillars as well. Here's a past client of mine, the Online Dog Trainer. Essentially, it's the 4C model for dog owners that want to train their dog. So here's the thing. Sorry, that slide shouldn't be there. Let's just ignore that for now. Here are the 4 pillars again. Content, and ideally it's curated. Ideally you have multiple content creators and it's not just one person. I do believe that the guru model is starting to die out, and people are now starting to appreciate a perspective from different experts. That's why with roping.com, we currently have 5 or 6 different coaches, and our goal is to get to about 10 or 12 within the next year. So then essentially in our Facebook group, if someone asks a question, they get the perspective of different experts. In our membership site, when people are consuming our content, there's a whole bunch of different content creators. You know what I mean? And then, so there's content, curated, coaching, community, and then the Buyers Club. So let me tell you a little bit about one of my clients who's recently implemented this model. Let's see what he had to say. Before I knew Ricky, I didn't have any continuity in my own business. I always wanted to stay away from it. It wasn't until after actually having a successful continuity program in my business that I realized why I never thought it would work. It was a limiting belief that I held. I grew up with no money. I could never afford any kind of subscription. And I just thought that everyone felt the same way. After speaking with Ricky, we released a continuity program in my business, and it quickly took off. It quickly created a bunch of raving fans for our business, as well as we were able to provide more and more content to it. I started it out quite humble, just unlimited access to all the courses I had. But now, as we've grown, the members now get live lessons each month from multiple guitar instructors, and they love it. Notice he says multiple, right? Curated content from multiple experts. Having the reliable revenue coming in month after month has literally saved the business. With anything, especially business, there are ups and downs. And when we were down, our continuity program was the solid, reliable revenue we could rely on that made it possible for us to keep growing. Keep going. It literally saved us, allowing us to work through the tough patch. And now we're doing better than ever with more and more people joining our membership and courses every day. Looking back, it seems crazy to think that we were running a business without continuity. I feel that Ricky has the knowledge and experience to pinpoint the best way to execute a continuity program in any market. He's been in the trenches, so you don't have to. If anyone is wanting to create a reliable, steady stream of income from a membership site, I'd recommend to listen to every word that Ricky Baldasso says. He'll get you from point A to point money. I kind of thought that was pretty cool when he wrote that in the fastest possible way. Thanks, Ricky. You definitely changed the way I look at business, and we wouldn't be where we are today without your help. Charlie Wallace, founder of Guitar Mastery Method. Awesome dude. So let's recap. 4C membership sites are the secret business model enabling marketers and content creators to make 6 to 7 figures per year in any niche or in any industry or niche. I showed you, it's working in roping. I showed you golf. I showed you marketing. I showed you survival and preparedness, dog training, guitar instruction. It literally works in every single niche. And the reason why is if someone's only paying $20 a month or $50 a month or $100 a month and they get access to those 4 things, one, it's leverage from your point of view because maybe you are the expert, but you're only one of multiple experts. So all the accountability isn't on you. There's multiple experts offering their advice. And if someone doesn't vibe with your advice, that's okay. They have other experts that they can talk to. There's also the coaching, which allows them to speed up their results. There's the community, so they get the encouragement of other people. And if people are paying, say, $20 or $50 or $100 a month, and you're saving them that much money from your buyers club, say with Revolution Golf, for example, people paying $97 a year or $20 a month for that membership, and the average golfer is saving a lot more than that just on the discounts they get from being a member, because Revolution Golf has deals with all these different brands and companies for their members. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. So that's why you need 4C membership sites, for all those reasons. And keep in mind, it works in any industry or niche. So if you have any thought, oh, it's not going to work for me because of this reason, it's just not the right mindset. Remember what Charlie said. It's a limiting belief. You already know that it's worked in all these different industries. Your business is no different. Although we want to feel like we're different and our business is different, the reality is this works for any industry or niche. So let's get into the second secret. My #1 membership funnel, a new simpler funnel type that gets 2 times to 10 times more members than any other funnel strategy. And as a hint, you do not need a lead magnet, you do not need a tripwire, you do not need a webinar, and you do not need a phone call. Okay, so before we get into the actual model that I want to tell you about, which is the model that works, let me just quickly address something here called what I like to call the tripwire hoax. Now, if you've been in the marketing space for any period of time, either as a consultant or you've been learning from other marketing educators on how to best sell your information or to best sell your membership site, is you probably would have heard of this whole thing called the tripwire, right? Or this whole tripwire funnel where you have a lead magnet, which is something that you give away for free in exchange for someone's email address. Then you have a tripwire, which is essentially a low priced offer, often like $7 for something. And then you upsell a core offer, and then you upsell a profit maximizer. Then you have some email sequences. So if they don't buy your tripwire, you have an email sequence to get them to buy your tripwire. And if they do buy your tripwire, but they don't buy your upsell into your core offer, then you have an email sequence to get them to buy your core offer, right? In other words, an engagement and an ascension sequence. And then you need all the copy and the videos and all the technology for all these different pieces to make it all work. Now, I'm here to say that this is a flawed method for so many reasons. One, it's just overly complicated. There's so much that you have to do. Trust me, someone that's had up to, I think, 13 or 15 clients at one given point and having a bunch of them, helping implement this model, it's hard enough to get it, done for just one business, but you can imagine I had 13 to 15 of these and going at once, and I almost went crazy. I honestly almost went crazy. I had to refund a couple clients because the workload was too big. Whereas the model that you're about to learn is a lot more simple. It doesn't have all these complicated parts, and it's easier to know if it's working or not. With so many parts, it's hard to know if it's working or not when you actually, run some advertising or you just start doing some content marketing or whatever. It's because people have to jump through so many hoops to get to your core offer, which is likely your membership site. You could have 1,000 people click on your ad and only 1 or 2 people join your membership site because they have to jump through so many hoops. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail about this, but I have a blog post on my blog called Why Tripwire Funnels Suck. If you're not already convinced that this is a flawed model from an execution standpoint, but also from a math standpoint, if you just do the numbers, it just does not work. Check out my blog, metricdrivenmarketer.com. You'll be able to find that blog post and you'll understand why. So there has to be a better way, right? There has to be a better way. And I'll show you in a moment, but let me first ask the question. What do all the big ad buyers do? Because we all know that if someone's spending a lot of money on advertising, then they're obviously getting a lot of money back, right? Because no one spends a lot of money on advertising unless it's making money, because they'll run out of money. They won't be able to keep advertising. So what are all the big ad buyers doing? Well, let's just have a quick look at this article, right? Justin Brook spent over $10 million on ads, one of the most, sought after media buyers in the whole world. He says over 1.1 million in just Facebook and many millions on Google. He says that he writes a blog post saying why driving paid traffic to a squeeze page is like setting your money on fire. So he's essentially saying in this model here, the first step, that lead magnet, he's saying that doing that is like setting your money on fire. And like I said, if you go to my blog, you read that article, you'll understand why the math just doesn't work, right? People have to jump through too many hoops until we actually give them the opportunity to give you a substantial amount of money. So let me ask you a question. How about this guy, Tai Lopez? I'm sure you would have seen his ads. This guy spent over $25 million on ads, and I'm sure he's asking, why is no one funnel hacking me? Why is no one looking at my funnel and seeing how I'm doing it? I'm the one making all the money. I'm the one spending all my money on ads. Well, let's kind of investigate that for a moment. Is what Tai does and what we do with Roping.com, and what I recommend that you do, because if you look at all the big guys buying, spending money on ads in all kinds of industries and niches that are putting people into a continuity program or membership site, they all do the same thing. Rather than going from an ad to a squeeze page to a tripwire sales page to an upsell page for a core offer to an upsell page for a profit maximizer, rather than doing that, the big guys, and Roping.com included, is we go from an ad straight to a sales page for a product which includes a trial of our membership. And then one of the recent discoveries that I've made is then you send them to an upsell page for an annual subscription of your membership for 50% off. So let me kind of illustrate this, right? Is if you have, let's say that you spend $1,000, let's say you spend $50,000 on ads, right? And let's say that you're paying $1 for a click, which means that you are inevitably, okay, it looks like my audio cut out. I'm just going to assume that didn't happen. And I'm just going to rehash what I said in the last 20 seconds. So here's the old way people do it. Here's the new way. The new way is, rather than doing all this stuff with the squeeze page, tripwire, upsell, another upsell, is you go straight to a sales page where you're selling an actual product. It can be a physical product or it can be an information product like Tai does, right? You sell your information product and it has a 30-day trial of your membership. Then on the next page, what we do with Roping.com is we sell our annual membership for 50% off. So if you do it the old way and you spend $50,000 on ads, and let's say that you have a $1 cost per click, then you're going to get 50,000 people click on your ad. Then the standard kind of goal is to get, you're going to get 50,000 people to click on your ad. So that is clicks. And then the standard goal is to get 40% to actually opt in. So in this case, you'll get 20,000 opt-ins, okay? And then, whoa. So you've got 50,000 to click on your ad because it costs $1 per click. 40% opt-in is 20,000. Now, if you get, the typical goal is 10% to buy. So now you've got 2,000 people that have actually bought your tripwire. And then the standard goal is to get 10% of them to upgrade to your core offer, right? So in this case, 10% of 2,000 is 200. And then if you have 10% by your profit maximizer, which is your last upsell, then even though you've spent $50,000 in ads and your most expensive offer is your profit maximizer, only 20 people actually buy your main offer that you put the most effort into, even though you spent $50,000 in ads. So if we add this all up, let's imagine that your tripwire is $7, your core offers say $20 per month, and then that your last upsell is say $97. If we add that up, if we go $7 times 2,000 sales equals 14,000. We go $20 times 200 sales equals 4,000. We go 97 sales times 20. If we add those all up, we have 19,000, we'll call it 20,000 in sales, but we spent 50,000 on ads, so we've actually lost $30,000. But here's how I recommend that you do it, okay? And here's how we do it, and this is similar to how Tai does it and how all the biggest ad buyers in the world do it, right? Is if you spend $50,000 on ads and you get 50,000 clicks, then you should be aiming to just sell them a product that's the same price as your membership. So in this case, our membership for roping.com is $20 per month. So what we do is we sell them a $20 product, right? So we'll create an information product. We actually send out DVDs, but it could just be an information product. Is we'll create a DVD, sell it for $20, and we'll also give them a 30-day trial of our $20 per month membership, right? So they're not actually buying the membership, they're buying the DVD or the information product, and then they're getting a 30-day trial of the membership. And our goal is to get 2% of them to buy, okay? So then we're already looking at 1,000 sales, right? 1,000 sales. So here, we've already got 1,000 people that are in our membership, and over here we only have 200. So we already have 5 times as many. Now, not everyone's going to stay, but not everyone here is going to stay either. They both spent $20 though. These people have spent $20, these people have spent $20. These people spent $20 for the membership, these people spent $20 for a product and a 30-day trial of the membership, right? But here what we do on the next page is we say, hey, you just got a 30-day trial of our membership. If you want to upgrade now and pay for the whole year up front, we'll give you a 50% discount. Rather than being $20 per month, which is $240 per year, it's going to be $120 per year. So usually we're aiming to get 25% of people to upgrade. And you'll think that might seem like a lot, but I've done this multiple times. I know that Charlie, who I mentioned earlier, he's done this exact same thing, and 25% is very realistic. On one of our funnels, it was 20%. On one of our funnels when we didn't really know what we're doing, it was like 10%. No, we did that twice, it was about 10%. The most recent one was 21%. The one that I've done like literally in the last week is converting like 40, 50%. So it can range anywhere from about 10 to 50%, but 25% is what we're aiming for. So then if we do the math here, is now we have a $20 offer and we have a $120 offer, right? And here we are making $20 times 1,000. So just from this front end offer, we don't have any, squeeze page, trip off, none of this stuff. Just from this main offer, we've already made more than these 3 offers combined. But here's the magic, right? $120, 250 people spending $120 adds $30,000, right? So then if we add that up, here we're making $50,000, and here, so here we're making $50,000 and we're breaking even on our ad spend. Here we're making $20,000 and we're losing $30,000. So with that said, what's happened here is, yes, we've only broken even, but what's happened is we've got 1,000 people that have paid us $20. We've got 250 that have subscribed for the whole year and paid us $120. And then we have 750 people on the trial. Now, as a minimum, you want to have 2 out of 3 get rebuild. Okay? So if we get minimum 2 out of 3, then 750 times 2 divided by 3 is 500. As a minimum, you can have 500 people spending $20 per month in this scenario anyway, which equals $10,000 per month. So this is essentially the model that taken us. Our first few hundred members kind of were doing all these different things. We did a quiz, we did a free plus shipping funnel, but then this is the exact funnel now that we implement to get. Our last funnel got over 500 new members just from this thing. So following similar kind of numbers here, it was actually a lot better than this. I'll show you the numbers in a moment. But this is how you get to $10,000 per month as an example. If you want to have a $20 per month price point or $120 per year price point, spend $50,000 on ads, 50,000 clicks, 2% buy, that's 1,000, 25% upgrade to annual, and then you got 750 that are still on the trial, at least 2 out of 3 get billed, then that's your $10,000 per month, and you're already broken even on your ad costs. So this is the new funnel type that makes it all work. So let me kind of show you some results, right? The first time we did it, we got 467 people to buy the $20 product with the 30-day trial. And I like to just think of it straight away as a $20 per month offer. It isn't exactly, because they're paying $20 and then it's a 30-day trial and then it's $20 per month. But essentially, they still get billed the $20 per month, just as if it was framed slightly differently. So it's just mainly the way it's framed. But you can see here, 467 people, and then 53 upgraded to annual. So that's about 10%. So 10% of 120 is 12. So 12 plus 20 is 32. The average person here spent $32, and it only cost us $10 to actually get a sale, which means that not only do we have now, 400 or so people that are getting billed after the trial period, but we also have made a lot of money in upfront profit. So the second time we did this, we actually only just got started with this funnel, and we actually, without getting into the details, we actually have to turn this funnel off because one of our coaches didn't realize that we were selling the DVD that we created with them. We didn't get the contract signed in time, and blah blah blah. We had some kind of issues with that, and we've never had issues like that since because we kind of got our stuff together. But we here in just a couple of days, we can see 100 people here, 106 people, 100 people upgrade. So again, it's about 10%. It only cost us about $9 per sale, even though they spent $32 on average. Here was the most recent time that we've done it. This is a bit of an old screenshot, but you can see, again, it's only costing us about $10 to get a sale, but in this case, over 20% upgraded. So the average person here spent more than $44, about $45 they spent on average, and it only cost us $10. So we make about $35 profit on each of these people. Plus, we have over 200 people that are now paying $20 per month. And this is actually an old screenshot. This funnel has actually since done a total of over 500 sales, which is pretty cool. And there's another funnel that we just launched recently that it's even getting better numbers that I haven't actually put the screenshot in here yet. So let's recap secret 2. My number one membership funnel is a new, simpler funnel type that gets 2 times to 10 times more members than any other funnel strategy. And there's no lead magnet, tripwire, webinar, or phone call required. So here I showed you how it gets 5 more, 1,000 here compared to 200 here. Now, if this was assuming it converts at 2%. If it converts at, I believe, like 0.8%, then, which is still less than 1%. If it's converting at 0.8%, it's getting 2x. If it converts at 2%, which is what our target is, then it converts at 5x. But if it converts at if it converts at 4%, then you're actually getting 10x. So as long as it's between 0.8% and 4%, anywhere in that range, then it's getting 2 times to 10 times as many members. But our rule of thumb is to try and convert 2% of people, which is 5 times as many members as the traditional model that's been taught for the last couple of years by a lot of marketers. So that's kind of that kind of recaps secret 2. And let me just actually show you some examples. So we have go.roping.com/little voice. This is the funnel that's done over 500 members with this model. Okay, so you can check this out. We also have a sister site called powerteamroping.com, and if you go to go.powerteamroping.com/slow SMR for slow motion roping, this specific funnel we've only just launched, but it's already getting even better metrics than that little voice funnel that did over 500 new members. So I actually think this one will be adding over 1,000 members before the end of the year. So there's a couple examples that you can check out. There's a few more that we've done, but those 2 will kind of give you the gist of how it's all done. So let's jump back in here. So by now, you should understand that my number one membership funnel, a new simpler funnel type that gets 2 times to 10 times more members than any other funnel strategy. And as a hint, you do not need a lead magnet, tripwire, webinar, or phone call, as I showed you, right? So it's a simple sales page with a sales video, and it's just about selling a specific product for a specific price. You give a 30-day trial of your membership, and then you upsell the annual membership for half off. So now, let's talk about secret 3, my free funded ad scaling method, which is a revolutionary approach to getting unlimited buyer traffic without ever being out of pocket. This goes against almost everything the gurus teach. And before I get into this, let me just come back here. Now, why is this membership funnel so powerful? Well, the reason it's so powerful is that sales letter that I wrote, the little voice one that has over 500 members, that was the first video sales letter that I ever wrote in any niche ever. Now, I've been doing consulting for a long time, but I've always actually outsourced the copywriting. Now, what happens was I wrote that copy, and if you go to that funnel, go.roping.com/little-voice, I wrote that copy and it's pretty good. Like, even though it was the first sales letter I ever wrote, it's pretty good because I kind of understand copy and I've studied copy and whatever. But it was my first go. So why did it work? Because the number's on our side now, right? If you get that 2% conversion rate, it's only 2%. It gets 5 times as many sales as the Tripwire method, right? Now, even if it converts at 1%, it gets more than the Tripwire method. Now, there are lots of people that are successfully doing the Tripwire method that are getting the 40% to opt in and then 10% of them to buy the Tripwire and then 10% to upgrade and whatever. But with this method, you just need 1% of people to buy and you're getting more members, right? If you hit the 2%, then you're getting 5 times as many members, right? So even if you're not the most amazing copywriter in the world, if you just follow a simple kind of, structure for your copy, or maybe it doesn't have to be a scripted thing. You just get your phone and you just talk straight to the camera. The numbers are on your side. It doesn't have to convert at some mega high 40% or 10%. Even if it's 2% or 1% or 0.8%, the numbers are on your side and it still works, even if it's your first go. So I just wanted to kind of recap that. But let's get into this. My free funded ad scaling method, which is a revolutionary approach to getting unlimited buyer traffic without ever being out of pocket. This goes against almost everything the gurus teach. So let me tell you a quick story. I used to own a business called PinSensor, which is essentially a binocular product. So binoculars specifically for golf. The only thing that's different is that it shows you exactly how far away you are from your target. So you aim the binoculars on the golf flag and it tells you how far away you are, right? So I used to sell this on eBay and Amazon and have my own website. This was going back a few years, right? And this is actually where I learnt to do Facebook advertising for the first time. And what I did was I had this website that collected payments on PayPal. And then what would happen is I would spend maybe $100 on PayPal, and I used to sell the product for $200, and I would make, say, 2 or 3 sales. So I'd make, say, $400 to $600. Let's call it $400. Let's just say let's call it 1 sale. Let's say I spend $100 and I make one $200 sale. What happened was I then had $200 in my PayPal account, and then Facebook would bill my PayPal account and take $100, right? So I'd start with 100. So I'd start with nothing. I'd get $200. Then Facebook would take 100, and I'd still have 100 in there. And then I would do it again. Then maybe I'd spend 100 and make 2 sales. So now my $100 in my PayPal account gets 400 added to it. So now it's got 500. And then Facebook would bill me the 100 again, and I go from $500 down to $400. And that kept happening, and I essentially never paid for my advertising. It's just that my sales, my customers paid for my advertising. You know what I mean? It's like my customers pay via PayPal, and then Facebook bills my PayPal. And there was just this cycle of me never having to put any money in, and the advertising paying for itself because of the sales, right? And that's what's kind of happening here. But what's going to happen though is over time, it's going to cost you more and more to make a sale. Maybe it costs you, in that example, it cost me $100 to start with, but then eventually it becomes 110 and 120. As you start to saturate your market, it's going to cost you more. Now with roping, you saw earlier that our average cost was about $10. Usually when we launch a new funnel, it only costs $2 or $3 to make a sale. Then all of a sudden it's $10, then all of a sudden it's 15, then 20, and it goes up. And essentially what you're going to have is you're going to have a break-even point. And this is the average amount someone spends on day one. So if you sell a $20 thing, and then 25% upgrade to $120, 25% of $120 is $30, $30 plus $20 is $50. So your break-even point is $50. That's how much money you're earning on average every single time someone buys. So just like that example I gave with PinSensor, it's like as long as it's costing you less than $50 in this case, or it would have been say $200 in the PinSensor case, is as long as it's costing less than $50 here, then you're making sales. Now I showed you that our average is about $10, but it usually starts out at 2 or 3, goes up to 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I'm comfortably spending say $30 to make a $20 sale because I know that the average person's spending $50, right? But then you eventually get to a point where it costs you more than your break-even point and you're actually losing money on a day-to-day basis. But the free funded ad scaling method is essentially, it's a methodology I've created around how to actually run your Facebook ads where usually in the beginning, you know, you kind of trying to test a few things and you figure it out. And you start at point A, but then after making a few adjustments, usually you get to your break-even point pretty quickly. And then it usually goes lower and you're in the profit, right? So up here, above the orange line is losing money. Below the orange line is making money, right? So usually in the beginning, you might lose a little bit of money, just like the first $100 that you test, or maybe, for example, until you kind of figure it out. It really does vary though. Then you're going to be making money. But what usually happens is most people's advertising cost just goes all the way up and then they're kind of losing money and they keeps increasing. The methodology behind the free funded ad scaling method is that every single time you get to that break-even point, you make an adjustment, and there's specific types of adjustments you need to make in the right order and all that, which I don't have time to go into in depth right here. But when you get to that point, then you do something and it drops, and then you get more profit, and it drops, and then you get more profit. And then what happens is you're eventually going to get to a point where maybe you've run 3 ads or 5 or 10 ads, and then it's actually can't run any more ads that are profitable on day one. But what's happened is, this is what I call the average customer value line. So this is how much people spend on the first transaction. But what happens is over time, right, is like, remember, we had that $10,000 per month in the example earlier, is after 1 or 2 or 3 months, those people have all been rebuilt. That's another 10,000, 20, 30,000. Now you have all this excess capital that it's okay for you to actually spend a little bit more on advertising than you make on the initial transaction, because you know that those people are going to get billed. So the perfect example is down here where it's green, is I'm saying you spend, say, $1 today and you make $2 today, or you spend $100 today and you make $200 today, or you spend $1,000 and you make $2,000 today. You would keep doing that as much as you can, but then eventually it gets to a point where you spend, say, $1,000 today and you only get back $800. So you're losing $200. But let me ask you a question. Would you spend $1,000 today if I gave you back $800 and then I gave you another $800 next month and the next month and the next month and the next month? Of course you would. You lose $200 today, but then after the next time you get $800, you're up $600, then you get $800, you're up $1,400, you get $800, you're up $2,200, and so on. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm not going to have time to explain this whole methodology, but essentially, when you start to max out your day one kind of profit, getting profit on day one, you might have now $50,000 in profit. So then maybe maybe it costs you $55 and you make $50 on average. So you're losing $5 on each new member that you get, but you got $50,000, which means that you can get another 1,000 members, But then when you've got 1,000 more members with that $50,000 and you've lost $5 on the first transaction, then all your original members plus those 1,000 members have all been rebuilt again and again and again. And now you might actually have another 100,000. And then you can get another 2,000 members. And then it's just like this cycle of you never having to put more money in. You're just using your customers' money and all the money from the rebuilds to get more and more members. And then eventually you get to a point where you have thousands of members. This is the exact same strategy that we're using to grow from where we are now, a bit over 1,000 members, to get 10,000 members in the next year. And we're going to do it all without putting any more money in. So let me kind of show you what happens is you can see that our cost per $20 per month memberships, when we launched this campaign, it started at 3, went to 6, 12, 20, 12, 10, 13, 16, and then I made a change and it went down to $249. So that's, for example, it's kind of started going up and then I made a change and went bang all the way down to, so you can see it went 3, 6, it went all the way up, 13, 16, down to 2, and then 4, 10, 10, 11, 20, and then I actually made a change down here, which then dropped it again. So it's kind of doing this increase, decrease, increase, decrease, rather than doing what most people do, which is just a continual increase, okay? So here's another example. You can see 8, 8, 17, 19, and then bang, down to 3, and then $1 per sale. Right, this was in March, and this one was in August, right? So here's a different funnel, like a different, like same funnel type, but a different funnel, right? And then you can see 2, 2, 7, 9, 16, 4. So it went 2, 2, 7, 9, 16, and then I made another change, 4, 3, 3. See how that happens, right? Pretty cool, right? So with that said, let me tell you a little bit about another one of my past clients, Brett Fox, who has implemented a lot of this, this methodology when it comes to running Facebook ads. So I've been selling information to photographers for almost 6 years, and when I started working with Ricky a bit over a year ago, we were doing about $40,000 per month purely from organic traffic and our email list. My competitors were doing paid traffic, and I was missing out on the action. I wanted a more steady and reliable source of customers so I could exponentially grow my business with predictability and control. Ricky helped me launch my very first Facebook ad campaign. I still remember that. And in the last year, his methodology has helped me scale my ad spend to over $1,000 per day and my business to over $100,000 per month. Not only do I have more control over my business now, but being a metric-driven marketer has made business a lot more fun too. So that's Brett. That's his story. His business is Fotsy. I believe it's Fotsy.com in the photography space, teaching photographers how to improve, at taking photos and all that kind of stuff. So you can see he's a pretty young, kind of cool dude, and he was able to take this methodology and take his business from $40,000 per month to $100,000 a month with a lot more control and fun. So if you want to be like Brett, then you need to understand that the free funded ad scaling system is where it's at. It's a revolutionary approach to getting unlimited buyer traffic without ever being out of pocket. This goes against almost everything the gurus teach. So you probably found that in that short amount of time where I explained it, I can't spend obviously hours right now explaining it, but in that short period, I hope that you understand that that's pretty different to what all the other gurus are teaching, right? Wouldn't you agree? I'm sure you've never seen anything like that. And the cool thing is that you never have to be out of pocket. Remember that pin sensor story I told, right? And to go from where we are now to take roping.com to 10,000 members in the next year, we're not going to be putting any more money in. The customers pay for advertising, right? It's all about just getting this graph to work for you. And when you fully understand this graph, like obviously I've marked those different points because, I actually have a program where I talk about, what do you do at point A and then B and C? Like how does it all work and what do you do? What changes do you make? When do you make them? All that. It's a lot more in depth than I'll be able to share with you right now. But let me ask you a question. Right now, you're probably feeling a little bit like this guy, am I right? You probably feel like I've just been, putting all this stuff in your face right now because we only have a short period of time. And like I said, I already filmed this webinar. It was 2 hours and got great feedback, but I wanted to condense it down to less than an hour so that, if you strap the time, you could still get through it. But with that said, I've been speaking pretty fast. I don't even know how long I've been going for yet. I've just been here with you present, trying to deliver for you. And you're probably feeling a little bit like this guy. I'm sure you're having a good time, just like this guy is, but maybe a little bit overwhelmed because there's been so much coming your way. So let me ask you a question. Do you want more? Because if you do, I have something for you. Now, if you don't, that's okay. You can leave right now, and that's cool. I hope you got value from this session. But if you do want more, I do have a special offer for you, and I'm not going to spend, the next 30 minutes or 40 minutes kind of trying to hard sell you. If you want to join what I have to offer, awesome. If not, that's cool as well. I hope you got value. So let me tell you about what I have for you. I have a 6-week masterclass that I'm calling the 6-week 10K membership masterclass. And the goal of this masterclass is to help you go from scratch to $10,000 per month in less than a year, and ideally a lot less than that. It took us about a year to get to $10,000 a month with roping. Now we're, beyond $20,000 per month, and we'll be $50,000, $100,000 per month and more in the near future, in the next couple of months. But if you're a beginner and you haven't done this before, the goal of this 6-week masterclass is to teach you the fundamental strategies that you need to go from scratch to $10,000 per month in less than a year, and ideally less than 60 to 90 days. And what was I going to say is that I don't know. I was going to say something else, but whatever. It's left me. So here's just a little screenshot from the membership, which is essentially the membership you get access to. There's over 20 hours of stuff in depth on a whole bunch of different topics. Here are the 6 different things. Week 1, I talk about niche research, how to better understand your niche. Week 2 is all about building your cold traffic marketing funnel. So, using the methodology I mentioned in Secret 2, how do you actually get that funnel set up? Week 3 is all about Facebook ads. Week 4 is all about operations. Week 5 is about content marketing. Week 6 is about how to further monetize all your customers, members, how do you make even more money from them? So who's this for? For bloggers, podcasters, YouTubers, coaches, consultants, service providers, marketers, social media influencers, and someone friends and family turn to for advice. So if you're the expert, then you can build a membership site around your expertise. If you're a marketer like me, you'll learn how to partner with someone else and build a membership site in some random niche like roping, like I have, and you'll get you'll get all the tools that you need to be able to do that with someone else. So here's essentially the offer. I'm not going to go spend hours going through it. Essentially, there's a bunch of different things that you get today if you go to metricdrivenmembers.com/start. The first thing is the 10K membership masterclass. That's valued at $5,000 because I've sold it at $5,000 before. You get access to that today when you sign up. The second thing that you get is what I've created, a 10K workbook and implementation video. So essentially, that's like just some really bite-sized videos for each week that, in less than an hour, you can go through these little bite-sized videos. Some of them are 2 minutes, some of them are 5 minutes. And, there's, say, 5 to 7 videos per week. And just, say 30 minutes to an hour, you can go through the main stuff for each week. That's is just going to this implementation driven stuff, like do this, so that you're slowly moving forward, right? And there's also a little kind of workbook that I'm creating, which is just like the different handouts and questions and things that go along with those implementation videos. So you get access to that on December 1. I've already created the first week of that. You'll get access to that straight away, so you get a quick start. But week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'm still working on those implementation videos and workbook, but you'll get access to that on December 1. I'm also right now, like currently, as in right now, I'm creating what I call a live case study where I'm showing you how to go from 0 to 10K per month live. Like I said that we have a sister site called powerteamroping.com, which is it's not roping.com. It's a completely separate membership site. It's $20 per month or $120 per year. We've got our first product created called Slow Motion Roping, and I've just launched that a few days ago. And in early November, so in case you're watching this video at some point in the future, early November, I launched that funnel. We've already got our first 70 or so members. And between now and the end of December, I'm going to be taking that to 1,000 trials, exactly what I showed you in Secret 2. I'm going to be taking that business to 1,000 trials. 250 are going to upgrade to annual. Of those 750, at least 500 of them are going to continue to be paying monthly at $20 per month, which is $10,000 per month. So in the space of less than 60 days, I'm doing a live case study like right now, where essentially every single day or at least 3 or 4 times per week, I'm going into my ClickFunnels account. I'm going into my Facebook ads dashboard and I'm showing you, here's what I did today. Here's how many members it got us. Here's our stats, right? And I'm deconstructing that whole funnel, start to finish. You can see who we're targeting. You see what our ads say, everything, right? It's a live case study. And like I said, just kind of day by day, at least 3 to 4 videos per week. I'm just giving updates. Here's what we did, blah, blah, blah. And you'll see, start to finish, how it's gotten to $10,000 per month by the end of 2017. So those November, December, in 2 months, getting it from 0 to $10,000 per month. So there's already been a few videos I've created for that in the first week. We've already done $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000, but we're only just getting started. And you get access to those first few videos straight away. But then if then over the next coming weeks, you'll be able to see those updates. You're also going to get 2 months access to my Facebook group, where there's already about 15 different people in there that have joined this program that are in all different types of niches. Brett and Charlie are also in there. You get access to me in there as well. If you ever have any questions or you want to run something by some of the other members, get a different point of view, you can post your questions in there. You'll get a response from me and the other guys in there, so that you have that support for 2 months. Now that's usually $297 per month for that Facebook group, but you're getting 2 months for free. If you choose that you no longer want to be part of it for after 2 months, then awesome. You won't be charged anything more. If you then still want to have that support into the future, it'll be $297 per month to get access to me and the other members to ask questions and get support. Plus, over the past those 2 months, like I'm doing the daily video for the live case study, I'm going to continue to do 3 to 7 videos a week between powerteamroping.com and roping.com, just giving updates on what's going on, so you're always up to date with the latest strategies. But after 2 months, if you want to still get access to those daily videos to get the latest strategies and whatnot, it'll be $297 per month. But you get 2 months for free, which is pretty cool, and you get access straight away. I'm also going to give you access to a Facebook ad swipe file. So I have a spreadsheet that I've been creating that has like hundreds of ads that have collectively made millions of dollars in all kinds of different niches. You're going to get access to that on December 1. So, and today, look, the values, I'm not going to just go through it all, but essentially, if I assign the value of what each thing's worth or what I've sold things for in the past, it's well over $10,000. And like I said, I've sold this masterclass straight up on its own for $5,000 in the past. But if you want access to everything, rather than paying $10,000, you're not even going to pay like $2,000, which is kind of what I was thinking about, making this available to more people. You're only going to pay $997, and that's US dollars. If you're interested, you've got to go to metricdrivenmarketer.com/start. You can send me an email if you have any questions, ricky@metricdrivenmarketer.com, or go to facebook.com/RickyBaldasso and feel free to send me a message. So again, you get the masterclass, you get the implementation videos in December 1, you get the case study, which is ongoing, and then you get 2 months access to the Facebook group. And after that, you can either stay in there and it's $297 per month, or you can you can go on your own and you won't be charged any further. You also get the Facebook ad swipe file. So all of that for $997 US. And hey, another thing I'm going to say is there's no refunds with this. And the reason why is because I put a lot into this. And if you go in there, I'm confident you're going to get at least $1,000 value, but the goal is to get you to $10,000 per month in value. If you extrapolate that for 12 months, that's 6 figures of value. And if I know that I'm going to be adding 10 or 100 times the value, I just kind of offer refunds, because I know that the number one reason people refund is because they know before they bought that they were going to refund. If you jump in now, you're not going to refund because you know that there's no refunds. But if there was a refund period, then you would have already decided in advance whether you were going to refund or not. And I don't like that. So there's no refunds. But with that said, there is a guarantee. If you don't feel like you've gotten 10 times the value within that 6-week period, I'll actually spend 1 hour of my time with you, helping you get the value that you paid for. I charge $1,000 for an hour of my time, which means that rather than refunding you if you don't feel like you've got the progress and the results that you were looking for, I'll essentially gift you an hour of my time, which is worth $1,000, which is actually more valuable than a $1,000 refund. And then I'll make sure that you're supported that way. Although I know that that's not going to happen. I've already had, like I said, there's 15 people in our Facebook group. No one's requested a refund or requested that hour of my time. There's plenty of support in the Facebook group. You're going to love it. So if you are excited and you want to get signed up, then go to metricdrivenmarketer.com/start. Now, one thing I'll remind you is we're coming to the end of the year. If you want to have a big 2018, if you want to make 2018 the biggest year of your life, and you want, that membership sites is where it's at. That's what's going to help you build a sustainable business where there's recurring revenue. You don't have to stress about, if I lose, someone drops off of our membership site, I can barely feel it because we have over 1,000 members. If someone drops off, it's like not even 0.1%, right? And our business every single month is, tens of thousands of dollars coming in every single month on rebuilds. And it's just a more predictable way to grow your business. I don't have to worry about paying our employees. I don't have to worry about paying for software or anything like that. It's all coming in every single month, and every single month things are growing. So if that's what you want, metricdrivenmembers.com/start. And I look forward to having you as a student. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or hit me up on Facebook. This offer will not last. I'm not just saying that. It's like I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to offer it at this $997. Like I said, we've only got 15 people in the Facebook group. I think that, soon when, we've got 20, 25, 30, whatever, 50, I don't know yet, but, with the results that I know people are already getting and what's possible, and, just essentially looking over my shoulders as I'm giving you daily insights of what I'm doing, I know that the value here is a lot more, and I can almost guarantee that I'm going to be increasing it to 2,000 or 5,000 or something like that in the future. But if you want to get in right now, it's only $1,000. It's got a complete guarantee. If you don't get 10 times the value, you get an hour of my time. And it's just, in my mind, it's a no-brainer. I wish that I had this offer, 2-3 years ago, so I didn't have to go through all the pain in the last, year and a half with roping. So if this is what you want, it's right for you. metricdrivenmembers.com/start. Look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. And that's all for now. I am going to hit it, and I will see you in the Facebook group.